Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to my live and a very happy Women's Day to all the wonderful women out there. సో ఈరోజు చేయబోతున్నటువంటి ఈ లైవ్కి ఒక స్పెషాలిటీ ఉంది. జనరలీ ఏంటంటే షూటింగ్స్ ఉండే టైముల్లో లైవ్లు నేను పెట్టుకోను, కానీ ఈరోజు ఉమెన్స్ డే సందర్భంగా ఒక స్పెషల్ ఉమెన్ని మనందరం కలవాలి అనే ఉద్దేశంతోనే ఈరోజు ఈ లైవ్ని ఆర్గనైజ్ చేయడం జరిగింది. మీలో చాలా మందికి తెలిసి ఉంటుంది, దేర్ ఇస్ అ ఉమెన్ who is an embodiment of women empowerment and her name is Aurora Akanksha. సో అరోరా ఆకాంక్ష ఈ మధ్య కాలంలో ఈ పేరు ఎందుకు వినబడుతుంది అంటే యుఎన్ సెక్రటరీ జనరల్ అనేటువంటి పోస్ట్ ఏదైతే ఉందో దానికోసం అరోరా ఆకాంక్ష నిలబడి ఉంది. ఇప్పటి వరకు దేర్ హెస్ నెవర్ బీన్ అ ఉమెన్ సెక్రటరీ జనరల్ ఆఫ్ యుఎన్ and there's never been this young human being for that secretary general post. So we are all looking forward to Aurora Akanksha winning this post and to send our good wishes and our best wishes to her. Today we'll be having Aurora Akanksha on my live and we'll be speaking with her. ఈ లోపు చాలా మంది హ్యాపీ ఇంటర్నేషనల్ ఉమెన్స్ డే సుమక్క, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ అని, అలాగే హ్యాపీ ఉమెన్స్ డే అక్క అని పంపిస్తూ ఉన్నారు. ఎస్, ఐ సీ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ ఆల్ అండ్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఒక 3000 మెంబర్స్ జాయిన్ అయ్యారు. సూపర్! ఉమెన్స్ డే సందర్భంగా జాయిన్ అయినటువంటి ఉమెన్ అందరికీ ఉమెన్స్ డే శుభాకాంక్షలు. అండ్ ఈ ఉమెన్ వెనకాల ఉండేటువంటి మగవాళ్ళందరికీ కూడా థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఫర్ సపోర్టింగ్ దీస్ వండర్ఫుల్ ఉమెన్. Okay, and let me just see whether Akanksha has joined. I didn't see Akanksha yet. Okay. ఈ లోపు ఎవరైనా ఏమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ నన్ను అడగాలి అనుకుంటే యూ కెన్ జస్ట్ కీప్ థ్రోయింగ్ క్వశ్చన్స్. ఐఎమ్ హియర్ టు ఆన్సర్ యువర్ క్వశ్చన్స్. ఓకే, హేమంత్, చాలా మంది రిక్వెస్ట్ పంపిస్తున్నారు లైవ్ లో జాయిన్ అవ్వడానికి, బట్ ఐఎమ్ సారీ ఐ కాంట్ టేక్ యువర్ లైవ్. I am just waiting for Akanksha Arora to join so that hey Akanksha, do you see me? I'm here. Just send me a request. Okay, Rama, happy Women's Day. Thank you. Alage Rumana, happy Women's Day. ఏ షూటింగ్ లో ఉన్నారు? క్యాష్ షూటింగ్ లో ఉన్నాను, ఇంకా స్టార్ట్ అవ్వలేదు, స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది కాసేపట్లో. విక్రమ్, హ్యాపీ ఉమెన్స్ డే. ఎస్ఎస్ రావణ, ఓ హ్యాపీ ఉమెన్స్ డే రావణ్, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. అబ్బాయిలకి ప్రస్తుతానికి మాత్రం మేము విష్ యూ ద సేమ్ చెప్పలేము, అదొకటే. మిగిలిన అన్ని పండగలకి చేయగలుగుతాం కానీ ఇది ఒకదానికి మాత్రం చేయలేము. అండ్ ఆకాంక్ష, ఐ డోంట్ సీ యూ ఎట్. 1 second, let me just check if there is Akanksha here. సో ఉమెన్స్ డే సందర్భంగా మై డియర్ గ్రేట్ స్టార్ మహిళలు, మీ ప్లాన్స్ ఏంటి ఇవాళ? వాట్ ఆర్ యువర్ ప్లాన్స్? లెట్ మీ జస్ట్ సర్చ్ ఫర్ అరోరా ఆకాంక్ష. ఓకే, సో ఇంకా కనిపించలేదు నాకు. ఎస్, వి గాట్ యూ అరోరా ఆకాంక్ష.
Thank you so much for having me, Suma. Thank you so much. Thank you. And happy Women's Day. You are such an inspiration to me. I have followed you for all these years and you are so supportive of all women of all ages, and I just love how much of a role model you are to us and how much you entertain us and teach us all your good wisdom. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Aurora. Thank you so much. And it's a great pleasure, in fact, in meeting you today. because we're talking about Women's Day and how women need to be empowered. But I think you are the embodiment of women empowerment. And what we are looking forward to you is winning that Secretary General post of the UN and becoming the first woman of Indian origin and the youngest.
Thank
There's
you
a lot of
so much.
support that's coming your way, Arora Akanksha. So, how did this all start? What made you come and stand up for this post?
So I joined the UN 4 years ago to serve on as the financial reforms expert under the current Secretary General. And when I joined, I had no ambition to, run for this top position. I just was happy to be part of this place. But my decision was fueled based on what I learned when I was here. UN was created with a great promise to help bring peace and security to the world, protect human rights, enforce rule of law, and help development. But over the last 75 years, UN has not fulfilled its promise to the world. We have highest number of refugees and displaced people, 85 million. Humanitarian programs that were initiated decades ago have not resulted in betterment of lives for people. Development, like in 1980, China's GDP was below all but three African countries. And look where China is today and where Africa is, who has
Yeah.
received the most funding from all the UN. And like
Mm-hmm.
for every dollar UN receives, only 30 cents is used for the cause. Just and they
Okay.
receive like 56 billion a year. And everyone within the UN universe is aware of these problems, but no
Mm-hmm.
one wanted to do anything. So for me, I realized I love the system so much. I believe in it, and I know it's capable of fulfilling its promise and
Absolutely.
doing
Yep.
great work. And I was like, I have to be like, as Gandhi says, I have to be the change that I want to see in the world. Yes, and that's when
Wonderful,
I
wonderful.
yeah, I think that's what fueled me. And it's interesting that I took this step solo, like going into this thing. But now women all over the world are supporting me, young people, and India, of course. My motherland is so behind me. So it started as a solitary journey, but now it's become our journey together.
Yes, absolutely, Aurora. And I believe that it's not only about being an Indian, it's being human.
Absolutely.
And a woman actually standing for this cause, and you looking forward to bring in more technology and education to everywhere to the people that's required. I think that's what we are all standing for.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's something that are the tools for economic progress. Like internet
Yeah.
and education are the biggest equalizers. If we give this to every person, sky is the limit. Today, half of the world has access to internet and we landed on Mars. Imagine if everyone had it, we would be living on Pluto,
Yeah.
right? Like
Absolutely.
this Instagram live would be different. I would be able to touch you. It's like I'm
Yeah.
like you're right here. So the possibilities are endless if we believe in empowering people and making a difference in their lives.
Great, great, Aurora. So we also heard that you're getting a lot of support from other countries.
I think
So
yeah.
how are you taking that?
So all United Nations has 193 countries that are part of it. So all countries care about people by the end of the day. They all want UN to be living up to its promise and its potential. So they've all been very supportive. And I think one thing that's on the table right now is equality. Like half of the world is women, and we've never had a women secretary general. Half of the world is under 30. We don't have youth proper representation. So I think a lot is at stake in this election. It's equality and values of the UN. So I'm so grateful that countries have shown support and are willing to embrace new ways of doing things, a new form of leadership.
Do you think
Yeah.
that equality is mostly only preached and actually not practiced?
it it unfortunately has been so far at the UN that in
I'm sure you're
2016
going to break it. I'm sure you're
I'm
going to
sure we
break
will
it.
change it. Yes, because I know that UN knows that the world is watching them, and hopes of so many people are on this. Like for the first time, young people are excited about the UN. Like they're so
Yes, yes.
excited to join it. They're like, "Wow, if she can do it, we can do it too." So I think the countries know what's at stake, and they will practice equality too.
Yeah, and Akanksha, as you rightly said, you want to be the change. You're not
Yes.
ready to sit in the gallery and watch and make all the comments about why didn't they do that? Why didn't these people make a difference? But you are ready to make that difference. So, does it
Abs-
take a lot of time and sacrifice from your side also, Aurora Akanksha?
I think my personal decision to run for this was fueled by a couple stories. Like when I just joined the UN, in few weeks of being here, I got hit by a cab. So I was leaving work late at midnight, and it was my walk sign, and I was crossing the road, but this cab hit me, and I was in the ER for 8 hours. I
Okay.
knew I had broken my legs. I had bruising and bleeding in my body. I didn't know the extent of internal damage. And I think in those moments, I realized, wow, if I had died today, what would my obituary read? Aurora Akanksha was a selfish person dedicated to the pursuit of happiness for herself. Like I always played a small game in life. Like, I mean, I was an employee. I was like, I'm just going to do my part and hope that someone else will take care of the bigger picture. I put my head down. But then I realized, when you're on your deathbed, you really don't worry about all the inconsequential things. The only thing that matters is the regrets that you have. And for me, it was a big regret that I had been a taker all my life. I was taking from society, like women who've come before me, my grandparents, my parents, and community and large, and I didn't give much. And at that time, I made God a promise. I was like, God, please help me get out of this. Like, please help me recover through this accident. And I promise I will do my part in making a difference in the world and not living my own small life. So God lived up to his promise. Like, I did recover from the accident, and I lived up to mine. So I have been working, trying to change the system internally, and now trying to change it through running for a leadership position. And another story that triggered me is I went to Uganda for work, and when I was in Uganda, I saw a child eating mud. Like, this little girl, she was eating mud. She had like a torn dress, and no one was looking after her. She was just eating mud. People were crossing as if and ignoring her as if she didn't exist. And that was such a painful image for me to see. Like, here I am living in a good hotel, eating what I want, and this child is eating mud. And I was so sad to see it. And at that time, all I could do was give her food and money because I didn't know how else to help her. There was no adult. But that image has stuck with me always. So I came back to New York and I asked one of our senior UN leadership person, I was like, why is that child eating mud? And you know what he said? Mud is good for children. It has iron. And Sumaji, that's when I knew that this is not the leadership that can lead progress. This is not the leadership that will give empowerment and opportunity to the people. And if we want to see a better world, we have to start with a good leadership. So that fueled my decision to run for this position of the Secretary General.
Akanksha, you have touched me. I'm just moved and so inspired by what you said. That when you are on your deathbed, that is when you actually realize what is my life all about? What did I do in my life? Much more than becoming more selfish about myself, my family. How do I live better? How do I make my life better and the family around me better? But I think that's when you actually start growing more than your family. You start thinking
Yeah.
about the planet. Oh my God, you are an amazing woman, Akanksha. You're standing for that cause, for all the refugees, for all the underprivileged children, for so many countries out there who are really looking out for help. And as you rightly said, that there are finances, there is the money, but the right structures or the strategies or the planning is not being done.
Yes.
And with people like you, I'm sure this is going to go a very long way. And what actually the UN was planned for, that the source of it, that is going to reach out to people.
Yes, absolutely.
Kudos
Thank
to
you.
you, kudos to you. And you being of Indian origin, from Haryana. And I suppose you studied here in India.
I did till high school, all the way till 18
Oh, okay. And
in
then you left
Delhi.
for your master's in New York, right?
Yes, in Canada first and then
Okay.
New York. Yes. But
Mm-hmm.
until 18 I was in India, so India has a special place in my heart. It's my motherland.
Yes, yes. And we all hold a special place for you in our heart. We are all
Thank you
looking
so.
forward to you winning this UN Secretary General post. And by you winning the post, you actually fulfilling the ambition of millions of people and
Yes.
reaching out to all the people out there. So
Yes.
anything in particular you want to say to the women,
I
Akanksha, because today is
yeah,
Women's Day?
absolutely. So I think the first thing I want to say is it is such an honor to be a woman and share this experience with so many women in the world. Like it's hard for me to even describe what that means, but I think in few words, like I've always felt women as someone who care deeply, love unconditionally, and fight injustice and inequality relentlessly. Like, and I think just having that strength by luck, like, that I ended up being a woman is just so phenomenal. And my message to women and young girls and everyone out there is just be yourself. Like, a
Yes.
lot of time we look at others, we're like, oh, I wish I had that quality of that person. I wish I had that. But just be you. There is only one you, and you be you, and that is all it takes to just enjoy your own life in your own skin and live up to your potential. So that would be my message to everyone. Just be yourself, have the courage and confidence to accept who you are. You're not like someone else, but that's perfectly okay.
Absolutely. Everyone is unique and extraordinary.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
and as you very rightly said, every woman inbuiltly has that strength in her. But
Yes,
sometimes she's stopped by her own barriers that can I do this? Oh no, only Akanksha can do this, or Suma can do this. I can't do it. But I'm sure that everybody has it. The only thing is we just have to cross those barriers and come forward.
absolutely. Yes, and sky is the limit then. So I think one message I have for all the men out there, to men and boys, this they've also made life so much easier for us. Like men and boys are fighting for women equality everywhere. So I just want to say thank you. Your efforts are acknowledged, recognized, respected, and we are so grateful that you, like men in their own circles, through their families, when they have leaders in their own business, are trying to make a difference. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Without their support, like I also always say that when I'm working for a show which is based as a woman's concept, there are hundreds of men working so that the show
Yes,
goes on air. So without their
absolutely.
support, I wouldn't be working. So it's
Absolutely.
never possible with one single person actually going forward to do everything for the project. The change must happen from the whole team. We all work as a complete unit towards progress.
Absolutely. And I think something it goes back, like you said, we're all human by the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah.
We all have two eyes, one nose, one lips, and our heart, like, our heart feels pain the same way, like every other heart. And I think
Yes.
just remembering that core, that even if we look different, talk different, sound different, we are the same in our heart,